So we're talking about, welcome to another episode of The Snack, a Mostly Superheroes, Three-Body Problem, a TV show on Netflix that's been made from a book that Scotty Scoop is planning to read. So we're going to keep it spoiler-free for you, listener, of the TV show on Netflix. Sam the Sleeper here from Team Jakey. This episode of Snack brought to you by Team Jakey. Oh, we'll give it up for that. Sam, thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Steve. Woo! We'll talk more about that in a bit. Right now, I want to hear about this TV show, Three-Body Problem, on Netflix. A little bit of background about the film. In Three-Body Problem, the Santese planet has a three-sun solar system, which means that its living conditions are very unstable with extreme heat and cold during chaotic periods that make it impossible for humans to survive. Big thanks to, read that website for me.
Marie Claire. .co.uk.
Thank you very much.
That may or may not have been a bit of a spoiler.
No.
But not
Don't tell us that. No.
I mean, personally, I didn't even know it took place
you learn that quickly.
But,
well, listen, that's the public synopsis.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind
from
the
the show.
That's what makes this review so tricky, is it's like you're watching it and you don't really, it doesn't lead up to that until kind of later in the show.
Well, and that's what I want to always do for our listeners, is try to not surprise you with spoilers. We're not going to today because Scotty will lose it if we do. So it's really just
I will start swinging.
I wanted the listener to know where it is. It's on Netflix. It's a sci-fi season of television that just came out this year in 2024. Sam the Sleeper has seen it. So yeah, you're not telling us about what happened here. You're just telling us about how you felt about it and what was your rating and what was your snore rating.
Yeah. So I mean, look at the cast. Most of these people we've seen in some respect.
Let's help people out.
We got Wong there.
Benedict Wong.
I see Samwell Tarly.
John Bradley.
I see Sir Davos Seaworth.
A couple Game of Thrones guys. Liam Cunningham.
So it's by the Game of Thrones creators of the show.
Okay.
Here we go.
You're going to see some similarities there.
Very cool. That's some good little insight there.
I didn't make that up, right?
No, you didn't. And it's a remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy by Chinese author Liu Cixin. The Netflix adaptation. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Liu Cixin. The Netflix adaptation created by David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, and Alexander Wu. So those are Game of Thrones folks.
Those are. So really, when you're getting into it, I went into this completely blind. You know, I was like, I didn't even know there were books when I first started the show. I think episode 1, I'm like, let's figure out what the hell I'm even watching. This was the books were adapted into English in 2014, maybe. So it's been around a bit. These books, 10 years we're talking. So it's finally been, adapted into a television show, and it's on Netflix. So I dive right in. I have no idea what the hell it is. I see it's like #1 on Netflix. And I go, like everybody else does. I just click and I start watching.
Yep.
Check it out.
That's how it goes.
It takes place, and I won't get too much into the details of the show, but it takes place kind of right off the bat in 1960s China during like a cultural revolution after World War II and the atom bomb and all that. And I'm like, what are we doing here? What is happening? It's a lot being thrown at you in the beginning and not a whole lot of answers, which I kind of like. And then, pretty early on the next episode or episode 2, things are starting to click where you're like, is this probably what I think it is? This is about, and you already mentioned it, this is going into like an extraterrestrial
direction.
Yeah, this is sci-fi.
It's sci-fi.
And I went into that. That's how blind I went into it. I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, it's like, it just kind of feels like you have no idea what's going on. I watched the pilot, and I know that the series itself spans several decades overall.
Correct.
So, maybe going in, having that in mind helps a lot more to know how grand the scale is, and that years are going to be jumping around.
Absolutely. So my wife was watching it with me, and she's like, what? Where are we? So knowing that you watch the show, you're going to see some time jumps. You'll be in the 1960s, and then boom, you're present time. You're in the 1965, 1970s, boom, present time. So know that going into that, and you're going to see characters from back then related to characters now. And, like I said, it's going to be throwing a lot at you. They start pointing you in a direction where this is about aliens, which... that's hook, line, and sinker for me. That moment, once I realized, and you realize pretty early it's pointing you in that direction, I was in. I was like, I am watching this show to the bitter end.
We'll be right back. Hey squad, Logan here from Mostly Superheroes, wanting to talk to you today about some real-life heroes. Team Jakey, headquartered here in St. Louis, Missouri. They're turning the tragedy of losing their beloved Jake Zeller into life-changing action. Not just by making a difference, but by saving lives. Team Jakey supports both the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Provident Behavioral Health here in St. Louis. Join us at their annual Gentleman Jake Memorial Cornhole Tournament. It's more than just a game. It's a community coming together to lift each other up with some of the world's best prizes. If you're feeling down or know someone who is, Team Jakey's here with a message of hope. Reach out by calling 988. You can also visit www.afsp.org or text TALK to 741-741. You're not alone, and there's always a way forward. Someone's waiting for your call or text message. Search for Team Jakey on Facebook and learn more at www.mostlysuperheroes.com/give. Every bit helps, and together, we can make a difference. We know that if you're tuning into this podcast, you like listening to stories. Audible has you covered. Audible is the ultimate destination for audiobook lovers. Whether you're a fan of Stephen King's The Dark Tower series or the MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, they have everything you could find and more. Start your free 30-day trial today. You'll get 1 credit, 2 if you're a Prime member, which you can use to choose any premium selection title. You'll also receive access to the Audible Plus catalog with podcasts, audiobooks, and Audible originals, and shows like Mostly Superheroes. You'll even get a friendly reminder before your 30-day trial ends. Visit audibletrial.com/mostly or visit mostlysuperheroes.com and find our Audible page. Subscribe to Audible today and start listening to your story. All right, back to the show. Okay, and before you give us your feelings on how it went, I want to know from you, Scotty, you just bought the book. So what led you to buy the book?
So I'm in a group on Facebook that talks about fantasy and sci-fi books. And it's lots of, I don't know, a couple 100,000 members in the group. So, there's a lot of posts every day. And, sometimes when I see a lot of common posts about certain books, I just throw it in my Amazon book list.
Yeah, go for it.
And then when I saw there was an adaptation coming, it moved to the front of my book list into my shopping cart. And, okay, I'm going to try and get this.
Has that arrived?
Before, yeah, it's on my shelf.
Congrats.
And it's waiting.
That's a nice feeling.
It's been calling me every day. I carry my book that I'm reading now around the house, and I've been kind of lazy on reading it.
Yeah.
And the cover of the book that I have for Three Body Problem is like neon green, and it's like calling to me on a daily basis.
Like a beacon.
So this
I may just DNF the book I'm reading right now.
I totally get that. As you've been passing more comic books, it's forced me to be like, what am I actually reading right now? And I think I'm reading something, and then I'm like, I'm not reading this at all. I want to get to that one.
Yeah. It's okay, folks.
So this is
just DNF it and move on.
DNF it. What is that?
Did not finish.
Did not finish. I don't know why. I was thinking it was like a DDT.
Like more D&D.
I was thinking
D&D term.
Understand.
Insufficient funds.
Yes.
So this is really scary territory for you right now. Us talking about this show.
It's you guys tread lightly.
I will tread lightly.
No, we're doing good.
This is the ultimate non-spoiler.
No,
when someone in the room
I knew
has
it was sci-fi.
Yeah.
I knew it was kind of
You probably know more than me, and I watched the damn thing.
It's interesting though how we're treating this spoiler-free review. Whenever someone in the room's getting ready to read the book, we're like, man, we really don't want to ruin this for it. All right, What was your take? Should people be watching this show?
I will say, real quick, yes, there's, aliens. We're talking aliens, but the show, in a nutshell, is really about this, like an existential crisis of the human mind, of the earth, on like what you would do if you knew information that was only going to impact you centuries from now. And what does that mean? Does that mean anything to me now?
Right.
Do I care? And you see that question and that challenge play out in this series. And that's the ultimate, forget the aliens. It's really about this existential crisis that we have on our hands and the ethical and moral responsibility that the characters have to do something about it today. And with that said, while as important and grandiose as that might sound, that's where I started losing. And maybe I'd like to read about I'd like the book more. I just was like, give me aliens, give me aliens, give me aliens. And by like episode 5, I was falling asleep. Like after 5, I'd say 5 was good.
By reputation.
Yeah, I have to keep that up to some degree. So I was
but in the worst way,
who
though,
are
like
you?
you're snoozing, you're on your phone.
I was really interested in the show, and I just was trying to watch, and then I would find myself at like 9:30 waking up and be like, I think I passed out for like 5 minutes.
I've got a couch body problem.
Yeah, couch body. Yeah, exactly. It ultimately, I think people are going to enjoy it
Because that was your
me.
real-time experience, and then coming here and breaking it open on the pod, it's a little bit more like
You kind of reflect on it.
Yeah.
And like this is gonna impact my score, because it is scoring well, it's reviewing well. There's a lot of people that know a lot more about movies and series than I do.
We'll help you out. IMDb 7.7 out of 10 right now. I also saw Rotten Tomatoes happening here online, a 79%.
So
looking pretty strong.
Good, yeah.
Big thanks to Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Time.com, Dexerto.com, and NetflixLife.com. All right, 3-Body Problem on Netflix. Sam, now that you've talked about it, you've reflected. What do you rate the
You've
series?
seen the whole series, right?
I've seen season 1, yes.
Okay.
So seen it. I want to give it like a 2.8.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's a
do
fair
it.
share.
Nobody's gonna stop you.
Yeah, it's
And then, to be determined, the book review from Scotty Scoop.
Yes.
and I think I'm looking
I
forward
will
to that.
review both.
And then you'll review both.
Yes.
And I can qualify my 2.8 with a snore score, is how you said it earlier. I love that. I haven't been saying
snore
that.
score.
How many breathe right strips out of 4?
Oh, it's getting. Oh my
So yeah, snore score out of 4. What do you give
That
it?
needs to be a new sponsor.
I guess a 4 is like a hard, like you're sleeping all the way. A 0 would be like
4,
or is 4 like you're wide awake?
I think 4 would be I'm in dreamland.
Yeah, 4 year in
And
dreamland.
You're
0
snoozing.
would be edge of your seat.
So it's the opposite. If it's like a perfect movie that kept your attention and you didn't sleep, it'd be a 4.0 on the mostly scale and a 0.0 on the snore score.
Yes.
Correct. This is
Everybody with us? Everybody with us?
this is by far in the 3s. This is
Oh boy.
You were snoozing.
3, 4.
Oh man.
This is
3, 4. Hear me snore.
3, 4. Here we snore. Dr.
Night,
Seuss.
night, night.
Look at that.
Dude, we're talking almost roofie level here.
This
Like,
is
he's out.
That's unfortunate for you. I feel like this is like one of those times where you got to really just like block out the reviews and go in there.
No, for sure. Like I do look at reviews sometimes.
I know. Sometimes.
But I do like to form my own opinion.
Yeah, and again, you have to qualify that. I mean, my Black Adam review, it's not like there wasn't action happening. I fell asleep through that 8 times,
Well,
and he's burning people with lightning.
Dude, for people that listen to this
The
podcast
Rock
a lot,
may have fallen asleep making it.
for people that listen to this podcast a lot, they're like, "Man, this guy definitely remembers when he did the Black Adam episode."
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was like
never
your
forget.
was that your debut episode?
That was
It
maybe
was, I
debut,
think.
and
It
I
might
thought his
have.
name was Ted Adams the whole
well,
time.
let's just say officially, welcome to the family, Sam. You're hearing enough. Here, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sam the Sleeper.
over the boards.
Over the equipment. All right, 3-Body Problem on Netflix. Go check it out. Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Kerrigan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.